Okay, well, welcome everyone to today's ERA Live. We're so glad you could be here today with us. Walter Tobin, our CEO, is going to facilitate the discussion today. And our guest speaker, we're fortunate enough to have Sam Richter on. Sam helped ERA create the SearchLink tool, so he's obviously very knowledgeable about it. And he'll be giving a demonstration and overview of the tool today. And hopefully you guys can leave here with a little more knowledge about the tool and some tips and tricks to use it and help your business. I think most of you are already, hopefully familiar with SearchLink or maybe already have subscribed to it. But if you have any questions about kind of the logistics of signing up for it or how to have access or anything, you can direct message me in the chat today and I can answer your question, or you can email me. I'll also put my email in the chat today. And before we get started, just want to remind everyone to please put yourself on mute as Sam gives his demonstration. And if you have a question, you can put it in the chat box. And we hope to have a good, solid, 10, 20 minutes at the end of the call today to get to questions. So with that, Walter, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Claire. Well, as Claire said, we are so proud to be partnered with Sam Richter on our ERA SearchLink.ai tool. Sam is an industry icon, if you will, and he's spoken at several of our past conferences and has been very visible in different ERA chapter events. Sam is going to do a little bit of a refresher on ERA SearchLink.ai. And as Claire said, this is meant to be an interactive session. Please keep your mics on mute. We'll post the question in the chat room. And when it's appropriate, we'll ask the question. And if we have time, we'll maybe have you open up your mic and ask Sam the question directly. So this is meant to be your call and very interactive for Sam Richter. So Sam, I'll turn it over to you. Take it away.
Great. Thanks, everybody. I'm really excited that you're all using SearchLink, and hopefully you have some success stories already. We look forward to getting more success stories. And today, as Walter mentioned, I'm just going to give you an overview, and then at the end, we'll take specific questions. So I'm going to share my screen. And you should all be seeing the ERA page right now. And so the first thing to access, you need to log in. So I'm already logged in, but you log in. And then once you're logged in, you'll want to go to the main navigation here and click on the access button. So access SearchLink.ai, and that will open up the tool. Let me quickly describe what SearchLink is and what it isn't. I'll start with what it isn't. It's not a super secret database. It doesn't scrape the internet. There's not any proprietary information. Rather, what's inside SearchLink is, think of it as a search engine overlay. So where Google allows you to do, say, a 30-word search, or LinkedIn, maybe a 10-word search, what the system does is it uses AI to run sometimes a 600 to 800-word search. And it only looks for the information that we care about. So imagine if you could go to Google headquarters or LinkedIn headquarters or newspaper headquarters and say, hey, Google's awesome, LinkedIn's awesome, but these are the only things I really care about. Can you build a search engine just for me? Well, that's a little silly. They're not going to do that, but that's exactly what SearchLink does. So anything you could find in SearchLink, you could probably find on your own if you knew how to do super complex Boolean algorithms. And if you had sometimes hours, or you can pull up the same results, or maybe even better, in just a matter of seconds. So that's kind of what the engine is and what it isn't. Let me dive in. So the first area, when you log in, you're going to go right to the sales prospecting area. And this is the key contacts search. And what you'll see here is there's electronic decisions makers, search by seniority, search by function, and power search. I'll go through each of these. The key here, unlike a Google search, where to get good results, you have to put in a lot of information, what we want to do here is actually put in less information. Because remember, the system is building a massive search query behind the scenes. So I can type in a company name, and we'll choose Raytheon as an example. I can choose a seniority level. We'll do managers, and I'll find key decision makers. And you'll notice that I don't know how to spell, which would be helpful. So when we spell it correctly, you'll notice that on the results page, we get the various results that we care about. Now, we're not going to have any owners or founders because I looked for managers. But if I wanted to find electrical engineers, it's going to find electrical engineers who are managers at Raytheon, quality engineers, component engineers, purchasing managers. And here's really where the system shines, is it's using AI to look for all different synonyms of a word. So we search for purchasing, but the system's smart enough to know that, well, geez, Lisa is procurement, so we need to find her. Or Jeffrey's supply chain, we want to find him. When you click on any one of these, it takes you to their LinkedIn profile. Most of the time, the searches within SearchLink will take you, when you're searching for a person, will take you to LinkedIn. Reason being is it's theoretically the most up-to-date database on the internet. About 950 million people use it, and theoretically people keep their LinkedIn profile rather up to date. In fact, most other databases that you might use or purchase on the internet will leverage LinkedIn as well. So that's why I use LinkedIn. So we can also search for, let's say, vice presidents, and we'll choose a location. Now, when you're using a state, you want to spell it out. So Dallas, Texas, vice presidents. And again, here are all the vice presidents of a mechanical engineering located in Dallas, Texas. There are none. So here's one VP. Notice that it's finding VP. Let's expand our search out a little bit. Maybe we'll drop it down to directors. And here we go, quite a few more. So directors of operations, directors of manufacturing, none there either. Quality engineers, program, marketing, all the different job titles that we might care about in our industry. So that's electronics decision makers. Most of the time, that's probably where you're going to stay. Now, these other search functions, if you need them, again, you probably won't. You'll stay in electronic decision makers, but this allows you to search by seniority. Again, I'll use Raytheon. Search by seniority, and this will find all of the managers, all of the directors. Now, by the way, when you get this, you're not in any trouble with Google. Basically, what's going on in the background is, remember, I'm doing a 600 to 800 word search. Google says, well, a human can't do that, so you must be some kind of a spy trying to download all of our information. We're not. We just have to prove that we're not a robot and click on there. Now, one of the things you'll notice is this number here. It's completely made up. Not by me, but by Google. And in fact, in regular Google search results, you may notice that they're actually removing the number of results. It always has been a made-up number. Here's what I can tell you. It's more than one, it's less than 20,000. It's somewhere in between. If you really wanted to find the actual number, sometimes you can scroll down here and click a little bit, click number 5. And this one, there's obviously maybe a couple of thousand directors at Raytheon, but there's not 23,000. But sometimes you can get the real number by clicking down here, and you'll get a no more page results. We'll try it later on in another search, and then we can actually get the real number. So that is search by seniority. You can choose a function as well. So let's say I wanted purchasing, search by seniority. So here are purchasing people at Raytheon. Again, we'll find if there's any C-suites. So senior, so C-suite could be chief of staff, could be a senior. It's looking for those, I guess, more senior level job titles. Presidents, partners, there probably won't be any. VPs, none. Directors, managers, and other leaders. Again, this is probably like when we go here under C-suite and we get 7, that probably is an accurate number. Now, sometimes we will get a false positive, meaning that the results we want, we get a bad result. So it looks like all of these are accurate, but sometimes when we click on here, it might be somebody who works at Nabisco Foods. Why it shows up under Raytheon, I have no idea. But most of the time, 95% of the time, we'll get the people that we care about.
Sam,
Mhm.
there's a question from Michael.
Yeah.
When using SearchLink to find a profile and check on it, does it notify the person that your name search for them, or does it show ERA search for them?
No, it will show your name, because what's happening is it's like I happen to be logged into my LinkedIn. You'd have to be logged into your LinkedIn account. Now, if you're not logged in, it will still pull up some information. And in that case, the person will not see that you're searching for them. So you could always stay logged out. It won't pull up as much information. The results it'll still pull up, but when you click on their profile, it won't log in, or it won't pull up their profile because you'll be logged out. So that would be one way to do it. The other way, if that's something that's important to you, is under LinkedIn settings. There's a setting, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but if you can uncheck it, and that makes sure that nobody who's searching on you can see that it's you, and vice versa. So you can turn it off. Just know that then you can't see who's searching on you.
Good.
Search
Yeah,
by
thanks.
function.
Thanks, Heidi. Yeah, that's good.
Search by function, kind of the same thing. Raytheon. Here I could do a seniority. Now what this will do is it will search the most common functions at an organization. So not specifically for our industry, but if I wanted to find the HR and recruiting people, is there anybody in charge of diversity, safety or regulatory, logistics and shipping? So you can use search by function as well. So again, electronic decision makers will pull up the synonyms of job titles that we most care about, but other common functions are here. In Power Search, I've told this story a number of times, but it really shows the power of relevance. In today's sales world, we have to be relevant. We know that people aren't answering our emails, our LinkedIn connections, our phone calls. They won't let us come visit them at the plant unless we're relevant to what they care about. We can't talk about us. We need to talk about them. The story I use has nothing to do with your industry, but it's my daughter. So my daughter graduates from college in May of 2020, the heart of COVID, and she wanted to be in fashion marketing in New York. So her advisor, her college advisor, said, send out via LinkedIn requests for informational interviews. She sent out more than 100 requests and got back the grand total of 0 responses, because in May of 2020, marketing people in the fashion industry in New York had other issues on their mind than helping a college kid. So I said, Maddie, try this. Marketing or advertising in New York, fashion industry. Now here's the power of relevance. In college, Maddie was a Zeta Tau Alpha sorority member. So I said, let's enter in here and let's find other Zeta Tau Alphas who are in marketing in the fashion industry in New York. Now, when she reached out with relevance. Hey, can you help a sorority sister out? She sent out 4 requests, 4 responses, 4 job interviews, and she ultimately landed her dream job. That's the power of relevance. So you could go in here and say, I really want somebody with the word technology as part of their job title, or IT. They're in California, and they know, they have experience with JavaScript or PHP. And you can find those people. So again, you're probably not going to use Power Search too much, search by function, search by seniority, but know that it's there. It gives you really different ways of getting to the people that you care about. So that was the key contact search. Company research, kind of as the name says, you can go in here and search for companies. Now, I've worked with a committee of ERA to define the company types, and we can always add new ones, but I can say, find me EV charging companies with between 500 and 1,000 employees. And by the way, this is global, worldwide. It will pull up those company names, and I can grab this company. We'll take Wallbox Chargers. We're going to Control C. Right mouse click sometimes doesn't work, so Control C for copy. We'll go back, be a little bit redundant, key contact search, paste in the company name, and this gives us the decision makers at the organizations that we care about. So who are the electrical engineers? There's one, he's based in France. I can tell with the FR. Getting back to company research, we can search for employees by revenue size. We can search, if none of these industries are what you're looking for, you can add in your own term here. NAICS code, if you want to get very, very specific, you can click here to find a code. So you can find a government classification. And then, so for example, if I wanted manufacturing, and I want, let's see, a good one here. I'll just choose tobacco I don't like tobacco manufacturing. We'll choose 3113133 just to show you how it works. You then enter that in here and you can find firms by NAICS code and nothing there. It does work, by the way. And then classified business, you probably won't use this too much unless you're doing some government contracting. In this case, we can go in and find minority-owned business, women-owned businesses. So for example, I might say, find me all the Internet of Things companies that are a woman-owned business. Company details allows you to, as the name says, get you details about a company. We need to make sure that we know about the other person before we have a sales call, before we send off an email, do a LinkedIn connection. Who are they? So tell me a little bit about the folks at Wallbox Chargers. So we look for a number of different databases. This one, I hope to usually find a Zoom info report. That's usually the most accurate, but we can get some basic information about the company. We can follow them on social media. Who are their investors, Better Business Bureau ratings, employee reviews, customer reviews, and even court cases. That's usually for larger companies. And then company site search. This one's interesting. You're not going to use this very often, but let's say you have a really important sales call. So we'll choose Raytheon.com. You paste in their web address, and what this is going to do is it's going to search all of the pages on their website for terms that you might be interested in. Now, why is this important? Because if I go to the Raytheon.com website, I'm looking at their marketing brochure. The only pages that appear are what they want me to see. But most companies, especially larger ones, have a number of, sometimes tens of thousands of hidden web pages that are there. You're just not going to find them because they're not linked to off of their main website. So for example, I could type in electrical. So find me the word electrical, but you're only allowed to look at the Raytheon.com website. 93 results appear. So as you notice, every single one is on a Raytheon.com website. And you can even sort by types of documents. So here's PDF files with the word electrical sitting at Raytheon.com. Again, you probably won't use that too often, but if you've got a really important pitch, maybe you're looking for something on their website, this can be helpful to you. And then trigger events and prep. So a trigger event is what's going on in the other person's world where they might want to talk to you today. A big trigger event is a new hire at a company. Typically, when a new executive, a new person is hired at an organization, they're very open to a call from a salesperson. Much more so than someone who's been there in the same position for 15 years, because that individual probably has legacy vendors. Somebody who's recently been hired is open to a creative idea. Frankly, they want to show their new boss how smart they are. So find me, and you'll notice it'll be the same job titles that we care about earlier. Again, that number's not correct. But find me electrical engineers who've been hired at Raytheon or promoted at Raytheon in the past 1 to 4 months. And as you can see, this gentleman's been there for 2 months. You might want to reach out to Michael. because he probably doesn't have legacy relationships, and again, is open to those creative ideas. A disruption event is what's going on in their world. So you could type in a company name or an industry, a location. We'll choose Atlanta. And so find me companies in Atlanta that are going through mergers or acquisitions. You're not going to do this too often. Maybe, once a month, you go through and look at disruption events and see if there's somebody you ought to be reaching out to. You could choose solar, type in solar, find me companies in the solar industry that are going through a merger or an acquisition. So that's how you would use disruption events. Job posts, who's hiring, that can be helpful. Patent searches. So this is leverages Google patent search. It just makes it a little bit easier. And government contracts will leverage some of the government databases. This might be an easier search engine than some of the government databases to find current active opportunities or existing contracts or subcontracts.
Hey, Sam?
Yeah.
Heidi has a question. Can you help us with sam.gov?
Yes.
System for Award Management. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I am. This leverages some of that. So for example, I could type in a company name. Again, we'll stay with our friends at Raytheon. And current active opportunities. This actually is going to search sam.gov. And so it pulls it up for you. Or existing contracts or subcontracts. This one's searching fpds.gov. Again, you can click on any one of these for information.
You get that, Heidi?
I did. Thank you very much. And I'm not sure, does any other ERA member have a system for award management sign on? Anyway, not something we would traditionally think of, but given all the sourcing through the Defense Logistics Agency's Department of Defense, you might be pleasantly surprised at the cable contracts.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Sam.
You bet. Contact information. So I'm going to show you the manual way of doing it. So if I wanted to find the naming convention is what I call it, or the naming format for Raytheon, I would type in Raytheon, do an email search. And it looks like at Raytheon, they use first name dot last name at raytheon.com. Now, if that turned up no results, which happens once in a while, I can locate a domain, which we know is raytheon.com. And then I can paste that down here. And similar, it will pull up people's email addresses. And in general, they use first name dot last name, first name dot last name. At a company like Raytheon, won't always work because they must have a number of Richard Hunts there because he uses a middle initial. But in general, it will help you find that naming format. Now, hopefully, you don't have to use this very much. Contact info plugin. Make sure you watch the video. It'll tell you exactly what to do. But what this does is I partnered with LeadLeaper, and this will give you access to 200 emails, sometimes phone numbers, every single month. It's this little froggy icon right up here, and it works when you're on somebody's LinkedIn profile. Let me show it to you. We'll go back, Raytheon. I want to find managers. And we'll go into purchasing. So Douglas Toby, I'm going to open up Douglas's LinkedIn profile. Now, he's not very active on LinkedIn, so I'm not sure this will work, but we'll give it a try. I can tell he's not very active because he has 16 connections and no photo. But I'm going to click on the LeadLeaper frog icon once it's installed, and it's going to go out and try to find his email address. And nothing showed up, again, because he's not very active. So let's choose a different one here. Let's see if Lisa is a little bit better. She's not very active either. So we'll go down to Daniel. Finally, we get somebody. So I'm going to click on the frog icon. And you can go out, and as you can see, it pulls back his email address and phone number. I find this works 75 to 80% of the time. Again, you get 200 of those every month. By the way, anytime you load somebody, anytime you do what I just did, you can also view the lists. So you can view the selected lists, and Lead Leaper will actually store this information for you. And then you can export that as a CSV file. So just kind of a little added benefit. Lead Leaper is not my tool, but they're really nice people, and they give all of us 200 free contacts every single month, meaning because your ERA SearchLink membership is all of the people at your organization, if you've got 10 people using this, theoretically, that gives you 2,000 emails every single month. 50 people using it, a big number. So 10,000 emails every single month. So that is contact information. You'll find that in the contact info plugin. Make sure that you watch the video to install it correctly. It works on Chrome or Edge. It does not work on Firefox or Safari. News search. So general news search allows you to search news that you might not find via Google News. I'm going to use myself as an example. Most of us default to Google News, and finding news articles is really important because the first words out of our mouth should be about the other person. Well, I know I've been interviewed more than twice. This is Google News. Extended News is my own news search engine. And under Extended News, we'll also get local newspapers, trade journals, magazines, press releases, blog posts. Make sure the first words out of your mouth are about the other person and what they care about. Electronic news, think of this as your own electronics library. So it's only going to search the most credible publications in your industry. So if I type in, I'll just do solar, I can spell it correctly. It doesn't search the entire internet. It only searches the publications that are credible and objective in your industry for those words. So electronics specifier, electronics weekly, electropages.com. So you can put in the terms you care about for good articles. And then additional resources. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do, what would be a good term in here? Electric vehicles. So we're going to find the term electric vehicles. And I'm going to go to this web page. I'm going to pull up this article. I'm not going to read the article because I want to show you something that's really cool. This is called below my camera here, the follow-up GPT system. And I give you the instructions here, but why this is important. As you know, in our world, it can take weeks, months, sometimes years of reaching out to people before they actually are willing to allow you to work with them. Sometimes statistically, most salespeople give up after 3 connection attempts, but most sales don't move forward until somewhere between the 12th and 15th attempt. I think it's probably closer to 20 or 25. How do you stay in touch with people in ways that are relevant to what they care about? This is what the follow-up GPT system does. So on my calendar, every Wednesday from 7 to 7:30, I look at my client list and I try to find an article, a research report, something that's very relevant to their world that has nothing to do with me. Could be a new account that they've won, an award they've won, some industry information. And I send off an email to my prospect. Now, prior to the follow-up GPT system, I could do about 3 a week because between 7 and 7:30, I'd have to find the article. I'd have to read the article. I'd have to craft the email. Watch what the system does. So I'm going to say, hey, you know what? Walter might be really interested in this article, but I don't have time to read it. So I'm going to copy the web address of that article right here. I'll go back into our craft a follow-up message. I'm going to choose thought you'd enjoy. I'm going to send this to Walter at ERA from Sam. And I'm not even going to read the article. Now I'm going to ask Walter, how was your 4th? I'm not even going to read the article. I'm going to choose informal because we already have a relationship. So it's a little bit less informal language. And in that 1 second, the system went out, read the article, and pasted, crafted an email right here. Now I can go in and also find like research reports. So find a research report. And I'll type in electric vehicles, vehicles. Now notice that I put instructions to things in the various fields. So if I were to put electric vehicles in this field, I'm saying that that phrase must be inside the article. Keyword or name in the headline. I'm moving over here. That means the phrase electric vehicles must be in the headline of the article. I can also pull up a research report. These would be third-party research reports, PDF files. So here's an battery electric from Consumer Reports. I don't have time to read this. So I'll go here, go back to craft a follow-up message. Interesting research to Walter at ERA. Oops. Sam. Now in this one, I'm going to go in and pull up the report again. I'm just going to scroll down and find some interesting, maybe some interesting information. I'm just going to grab this right here. I'm going to highlight this. And I'm going to copy it, Control C. I'll go back into SearchLink. I'm going to paste that in field number 2. And now it's going to go out and generate, hopefully even a better, because it's going to read some of the data. So that's the follow-up GPT. Online documents just allows you to find documents. So I can type in electric and again, I'm saying the phrase electric vehicles must be somewhere inside the document, or I can move it over here. It has to be the title of the document. This will pull up PDF files, Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, spreadsheets, text files, and uploads. Again, you're going to get fewer results because I'm saying it must be the title versus over here, the phrase electric vehicles must be somewhere inside the document. So as you'll see, I'll get a lot more results. So before we didn't have any spreadsheets, now we have more than 9,000 of them. Probably won't use that too often, but it can be helpful with research. And then finally, a recruiting engine, because we know how hard it is to find people today. So what this is doing, you might be familiar with LinkedIn Recruiter or ZipRecruiter. All of those types of services require the end user, the candidate, to click a box and said, hey, I'd be open to someone calling me. Well, a lot of people don't do that because they don't want their current boss to know that they'd be open to opportunities. So this uses AI to look for thousands of word combinations to lead us to believe that they'd be open to an opportunity. It's not perfect. We'll get false positives, but it's pretty good. So I can go in here, type in electronics and sales. So they've got sales experience and electronics experience. They're located in Houston or Dallas, and they might be open to opportunities. So this would have actually shown up in LinkedIn because that's the phrase that LinkedIn uses. But Mark would not have shown up, or I don't think Robert would have shown up because seeking other opportunities is not the phrase that it uses. So hopefully it can help you find some current talent, find people who would probably start tomorrow. So here are people with that experience that could start tomorrow who are currently unemployed, and even find online resumes with the terms that we might care about. So that was a brief overview. Let me just summarize by saying there's a lot in here. For most of you, you're really going to spend your time on, well, first off, you're going to contact info plugin. So we want to install the lead leaper. And then company research, key contact search, then possibly the news search, electronic news, and then the follow-up GPT. So those are the core areas that you're going to use every day. Obviously, the LinkedIn plugin, you only have to lead leaper plugin, you only have to do once, and then you'll probably spend most of your time in contacts, search, and company research. So I'd like to take questions for the rest of our time together.
Yeah, so let's go up in the chat box. I think Chris Straub had a question. Chris, do you want to unmute yourself and ask Sam your question? Maybe he's not there.
Hi, Sam.
Hey.
Yeah, so earlier when Heidi was talking about the government contracts,
Mhm.
I saw the tab up there that said government contracts, but I didn't see how you got to it.
Sure. It's under sales prospecting,
Okay.
trigger events and prep, and
Trigger
then government
events.
contracts.
Ah, there we are. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
If it helps at all, System for Award Management, it will take you a couple of hours to sign up on. You'll need a cage code. You'll need different ideas. The NAICS code that Sam mentioned is actually helpful for sourcing whatever would be specific to your line card that is being sourced by the DLA right now. So for us near the Idaho National Lab and Hanford Nuclear Site, there's some there. I'm not going to tell you that it's as big as an OEM order, but it's good business.
Yeah. And what was the name of that place, Heidi?
Idaho National Laboratories. It's in Idaho Falls.
Okay. I'm just going to type in Idaho National.
Sure, it's in the Salt Lake City statistical area.
Yeah, I
Or
won't
the
even need
Boise
that.
statistical area.
Yeah, I don't even need any of that.
Okay,
It'll automatically do that. To close here. And so probably should have typed in nuclear facility. But
oh,
this,
that's nice. Yeah, that is because filtering through sam.gov on your own can make
so
you cry.
annoying. So annoying. So what was it? You said Idaho National. What was the third word?
Laboratories.
Laboratories. Please spell it right.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Okay. So nothing was there on that one.
Doesn't surprise me. It's a smaller
Means they're not
facility.
active, but this should pull up any existing contracts. Nothing there.
Can you put up Pacific Northwest National Laboratory? I know that's on there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And one of the challenges is because this is searching for an exact phrase, they may not go by that phrase.
Yeah, it's
That's
Pacific Northwest National Laboratories.
Yeah, nothing there either.
I was
Department
just
of
trying
Energy.
for Lockheed.
Yeah, Lockheed. Yeah.
I went to Lockheed in California. I did current active opportunities. Brings up that sam.gov thing, and then it says nothing.
Yep. So that means that there's just currently none listed on SAM. But here are a bunch of existing ones.
Now, where did you get those?
These are coming from
Existing contracts. That's okay. I see.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Sam, you typed in Lockheed, not Lockheed.
Oh, well, that's probably why. There we go. So here are existing ones. So I guess there's a bunch of ones for Lockheed as well. So
Yeah, see, these are all in Alabama. If you put in location California,
yeah, you probably
then it gets.
Yeah, that just means there aren't any in that database in the SAM.
Okay, are we ready for the next question?
So anybody can get into SAM?
Well, I'm sure with I'm not an expert in SAM. Heidi, maybe you can answer that question.
You can get into it if you have the proper registrations and you register yourself. So it can be a cumbersome process, but you're welcome to reach out to me. So I'm a contractor for MarkTech 2, and I'm registered on there for my various services. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially for cable business, And you find a lot on, Sam, you could probably speak to this, a lot of government contracts are listed as single source sole acquisition. What you want to do in defense is get yourself in with whoever is the logistics or the purchasing agent as the single source sole acquisition supplier. That means legally they have to put it out on sam.gov, but it's going to you. So that can be a tricky thing. And another thing, I'm sure you guys know what HubZone is. And some people think it's a place. It's at, stands for historically under your business. And, you could go cross-eyed with all this alphabet soup. My thing is, it's a resource. It's there. I'm going to use it. So.
Yeah. Hub zones are also under classified business search. So for example, if I typed in Atlanta, I'll just kind of keep it open for now. Or actually, I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to do company type. We'll choose data center equipment, classified business search. And so here would be hub zones. So there's 5 hub zones certified. Disadvantaged DBE is a different classification. So there's 12 there. And then the other types, and then 8A, small business ones.
All right, Sam, are we ready for the next question?
Uh-huh.
All right, so I think Sana, you had a question about LinkedIn and the use of third-party software. Do you want to unmute yourself and ask?
Yeah, because I had in the past also, where you could scrap the emails, right, and get it. But so I just wanted to know. I know you have the software there, right? It is you can buy your subscription or have the free versions. So what's your experience with third-party software? Because LinkedIn don't like it and they will actually block you.
Yeah, first off, this is not scraping anything. So I'm just looking at native LinkedIn results. When you click, you obviously have to go to your own LinkedIn account. So I'm actually driving traffic to LinkedIn. Not that they care. I mean, they get enough traffic on their own, but we're not, what they care about is you getting LinkedIn information and operating outside of the LinkedIn environment. So we're not violating any terms and conditions. Now, the lead leaper, you got to be a little bit careful. 200 is, you should be fine. If I did 200 in like 3 minutes, that might be a problem. But I've used it for years and I've never had an issue with it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, but you do have to be careful. And I do have some language on that page. Contact info plugin page, some important note language here covering what you just discussed. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jeremy Biggs, you have a question for Sam?
Hi, Sam. I think we've spoken about it before with your Intel agent. So obviously everything, and I can understand why, because I'm the odd one out because I'm over the pond. But are all the results that come up US orientated, or can you sort of put it, for my purposes, the UK and Ireland, or
Europe? Sure.
Yeah,
I could put in, I could type in a company name. I could just type in UK, find me all the directors in the UK.
Right.
So here would be the electrical engineers.
Fine. Yeah. Okay.
You can type in a city name.
Yeah.
They might not, I know that in some countries they don't use the word director or manager. Yeah.
No, okay. So that's the way to do it. Fine. Thank you very much.
Yep. And company research should also, I just want to double check, should do the same. Just going to do.
Yeah, I would think it would. Yeah.
Here we go. Yep.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Diana Merville. You have a question for Sam. Do you want to unmute?
Yeah, I was wondering where it draws the database from. Is it drawing from the same database that ChatGPT and Google Bard and LinkedIn already have for public use for free? Or is it able to produce contacts at certain companies that would not be publicly available on those 3 sites?
Well, first off, Bard, ChatGPT will not have any contact information at all. You can, and what it does have, it completely makes up. So you be real careful when you're saying in ChatGPT, find me all the electronic engineers at Raytheon. It won't link you to anything. It won't link you to any of their websites. It won't link you to their LinkedIn profiles. Any of the AI services are prohibited from linking to LinkedIn profiles. It won't provide any contact information at all. And like I said, sometimes it completely makes up things. So, for example, I trained ChatGPT, so I'm the new starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, that's not true, but if you do the right search in ChatGPT, ChatGPT will tell you that it is true. So you got to be careful with that. The second thing is the answer to your question, this isn't a database. So it's searching the entire free internet. So however many websites there are, a few billion, I don't know, trillion, it's searching all of them. Now for people searches, for the most part, it's limiting its search to LinkedIn because that's the most up-to-date tool out there where people keep their information current.
Okay, and is the SearchLink.ai available for free to ERA members, or it's an additional surcharge?
I'll turn that over to Walter or Claire.
Oh, okay, thank you.
It's first of all, it's available only to ERA members, and it's available for it's an annual subscription of $350 for 20 members in the organization. So it's a 12-month subscription. It's not part of your membership. And with the $350, you get 20 people to sign up. If you want to get more people than that to sign up, it'll be an additional $350 for the annual subscription.
Okay, thanks for letting me know.
You're welcome.
All right. Kevin McGonigal wants to know on the follow-up GPT function, does it give you the option to edit the email before sending? And I think the answer is yes, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah. There'll be a button in there that says copy to clipboard. Because you can't send from this. You have to copy it to your clipboard or highlight all, copy, and then paste it in a LinkedIn message or an email message. And then of course, once you're in there, you can edit it.
Okay, thank you, Sam. And just to follow up to that, it will show up in your Outlook outbox then after that, correct?
Yeah, because you're sending from whatever email system you use, correct?
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, Shane Randall has a question about Lead Leaper and anti-spam laws. Shane?
Yeah, so I know it might not apply to everyone, but in Canada, we have a bit heavier laws.
Yeah, you do.
And yeah, so if the prospect's email is publicly available on, say, LinkedIn or a company website, then you can contact them with implied consent. So I'm just wondering because there's kind of two services you have that will provide emails, if either one could be covered under this condition.
Yeah, I would, again, both Lead Leaper and Determine Email format is using an algorithm to determine the person's email. It might not necessarily be on the internet. And so in Canada, in Europe, I would say user beware. You need to be really, really careful. So now I found working with people in both geographic regions that if your message is highly relevant to what they care about, you're probably fine. It's where you're loading 3,000 names and email addresses of people where you have no relationship with them that can get you in trouble. So, in Canada and UK, in terms of relevance, it might be something like, we already do work with your company. It could be, so-and-so asked me to, or suggested I reach out to you. So I would really weigh on the side of being relevant. But certainly you can connect with them on LinkedIn. So there's no prohibition. And once they accept, then you can communicate with them.
Thank you.
Okay. Taylor Henderson had a question about, I think he wanted some clarification again about searching for people on LinkedIn and can they see that you search for them? Taylor?
Yeah, sorry if I missed that before. I was just, because I know, of course, when you're using like the LinkedIn professional or whatnot, you do get that little notification, hey, this person viewed your profile or whatever. So I just wasn't sure, if we're in your database here, does that send like a notification to them? I thought I heard yes, but I wasn't sure if like
Yeah.
this takes you to, something that would then notify them or what. I was just getting, yeah.
If you click on any of the links on a results page, then yes, once you go to their LinkedIn profile, if you have that on, and by the way, you can turn it off in LinkedIn settings so they can't see it.
Okay.
But if you have it on, then they will see it. Now, let me just show you something. If I go into LinkedIn and I'm going to log out. I think that's here somewhere. Let me make that smaller. So I'm going to sign out of LinkedIn. And now if I use the system, I'm still going to get the results. So that's not an issue. It's if I want to go visit Jose's LinkedIn page, it's going to take me to just part of it. So I can still see all of this. And right now, Jose does not know that I'm looking at his profile because I'm not logged into LinkedIn. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And
I think I missed the part where it just, I know when you're selecting on LinkedIn, of course, it's if you're logged in, it would definitely tell you this person viewed it. I think maybe there was like another link that wouldn't take you to LinkedIn or whatnot, and that.
Yeah, right here. So
Okay.
I'm not in LinkedIn right now. So
Right.
Jose does not know, and I just want to see something. I'm not sure.
So if I was in LinkedIn on a different tab,
Yeah,
logged in this
Yes.
browser, then
Yes.
it would say I'm logged in.
correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yep. But again, you can go into your LinkedIn settings and turn that off. I'd show you where it is, but I can't exactly remember.
All right. This one's a good one. Lori Bruno is asking how to find Lead Leaper. Can we maybe just take another minute to go over Lead Leaper?
Yep. So under contact information, it says contact info plugin. Click there and then just watch this video. So what happens is when you click this button, you'll go to the Chrome store. Now I already have the extension enabled, but if I didn't, it would say, I didn't want that, sorry. It would say add Lead Leaper, or it would say add, and then you click on that and it adds it behind the scenes, takes 2 seconds. Now the key is when it adds it, it's going to look like that. You're not going to see the frog in there. And this is all described in the video. I use Edge. Edge, there's a little puzzle piece here for extensions, and you click on that and you'll see the frog here. And then you need to click that to show it in your toolbar. In Chrome, it's not a little eye, it's a push pin icon. So again, the key is once you add this, oh, by the way, when you add it, it's going to ask you to create an account. You're creating an account with Lead Leaper, not with me. You're creating an account with Lead Leaper. And that allows you to see the lists that I showed you earlier, your list, not anybody else's. But once it's added, you still need to take the extra step of clicking on the extensions button in your browser and then enabling it by clicking on in Edge, the little eye, and in Chrome, it'll be a little push pin. Again, all of what I just described is in this video.
Laurie, Claire walked me through it, and she was able to get me to install Lead Leaper. So we can give you Claire can give you a little private tutorial on how to get it set up if you can't, if the video doesn't help you.
Hopefully that helped, Lori.
Yeah, pretty slick.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Rick wants to know if using Lead Leaper is the only way to export a list, like a CSV file.
It would be. Now you can you can export a list through other browser extensions. So let me show you how to do it. So if I want this list of electronic engineers at the director level, what you can use is what's called a data scraper. And again, because you're opening it up in my search result, you're not violating any terms or conditions. There's a number of free ones out there depending on the browser you use. So just go into your Chrome store or the Edge store, type in Data Scraper. I use one called Instant Data Scraper. So you could go to Edge, Chrome, type in Instant Data Scraper. It installs an extension just like it would with Lead Leaper. This one happens to be a little red and a white circle. When you click on this, it will go out, and this one didn't work so well, but it typically will go out and I can start crawling and it will pull up the entire page as an Excel spreadsheet, and then I can export that. So right now it's exporting. I didn't select the right area of the screen. I selected the header, not the whole body type, but that's how you would do it. Now it's not going to export the contact information. It's just going to create an Excel spreadsheet of everything you see here.
All right. I think that's all the questions we had. Anybody else? No?
Sam, it's Jeremy. With the Lead Leaper, you can actually purchase subscription from them, can't you, to actually
Yes.
extract larger quantities
Yes.
should you need them?
Yep, if you need to, you can work directly with Lead Leaper, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
I think that's yeah, it might be under my account, or one of those buttons allows you to upgrade. They're really nice people, really easy to work with.
And Lead Leaper comes with the subscription
Correct.
on ERA SearchLink.ai.
Right, so you get
Alright.
200 a month. If you
Right.
need 500 a month, you could contact Lead Leaper and get more.
So Claire, how do people subscribe to it? Could you walk people through if they want to take on a subscription?
Sure. Yeah, Sam, I'm gonna share my screen. Yeah. So I'm here at the homepage of ERA. So once you're here, an easy way to get to the subscription form is just by going up here to ERA SearchLink.ai, clicking on the resources tab. Okay. And then you can find this blue subscribe now button. Click on it. You just fill out a simple form, as Walter said. You do need to be an ERA member to purchase SearchLink. So it's really just as simple as filling out this form and submitting your payment, and we'll get you set up with access to SearchLink in a day or two, probably not even. And it's really as simple as that.
Hey, Claire, Michael Warren here from Arrow. So we've got you that list. Will you send sign-ins to everyone on that list, or have you already done that? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, so if you want additional colleagues to have access to SearchLink, they do need to have ERA login credentials. And myself and Karen Durkaz, our operations director, will work on that for you. So yeah, we try to
Okay.
get those set up also within a day or two.
Okay, so I think you sent some out. You probably didn't send one to me because I already have a sign-in. So that would make sense for me.
Yep. Right.
Excellent,
So-
thank you.
And if you need any help with your sign-in, if you forget your credentials or anything, you can reach out to Karen. She can help you with that.
Walter does all my IT work for me. I call Walt directly. He's terrific.
You're in big trouble, Michael.
All right, so Walter, should we wrap up?
Yeah, so Sam, once again, you've been brilliant. You've scared at least me sometimes a little bit with the Chat GPT. But this is, we're trying to provide a real great value to our members at ERA and pushing some of us into uncomfortable areas. This is a great tool. Somebody asked me, well, why is it so inexpensive? It's with all the features that you have. And frankly, we priced it for the biggest percentage of our members, which are the reps. And we priced it so that the average rep company of 4, 5, 6 people, it wasn't going to kill them. And we've got large companies like Michael's with Arrow, large companies taking out, many more than 20 subscriptions. It's a real great value. It's a game changer, frankly, for you and your people. Get used to it. You're going to get better at it by using it. And any questions, we can certainly get Sam on the horn, or Claire has become our resident expert, but this is really a game changer. So Sam, once again, thank you. Sam will be torturing Sam in Austin in February. He'll be speaking again at our conference to answer any questions and probably have some great additional updates. But thank you for your time. Any questions, reach out to Claire, reach out to me, and we can certainly answer the question of how to sign up. Thank you for your time. Claire, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, so thanks everyone for attending today. We hope it was helpful for you. We do want to let you know our next ERA live session is coming up very quick. It's going to be this coming Tuesday, July 11th at 4 o'clock Eastern. Once again, on this same Zoom link, the topic will be digital marketing for manufacturers reps. We have 2 guest speakers from the Outpace Rep Group, Tim Kilfoyle and Terry Straub. And they'll be discussing the new white paper that they have created, which is really impressive. It covers everything digital marketing from A to Z for manufacturers reps. So that's going to be the topic of discussion on Tuesday. We hope you can all join us. I do want to mention the white paper is on era.org if you want to kind of review it before the call. And so we hope you can join us. I'm sure it will be very valuable for all. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Sam. Thanks, everybody.
Hi,
Cheers.
just-
Great call. Thank you.